Hello, hello. Welcome to episode 52 of the Lorethrough. And we're going to do the little secret side area. It's not much of a secret, but it is a side area that doesn't allow for multiplayer for some largely unexplained reason. So we're going to run through it. We're going to deal with some pesky wizards. I probably shouldn't be using physical or magic damage on them. I should be using physical. But over here we're going to do some rooftop a-jumpin'. We can use it for the next few enemies. Because these fellas probably still take good damage from magic. I hope. Ow. Big sword. I like big sword. It's a shame that this big sword's just okay. But that's alright. I just this arrow sticking in my spine. It's fine. Don't worry about it. Stop asking questions about it. It's my arrow, not yours. Don't worry about it. Still, this place is absolutely massive. Like, very large, sophisticated, tons of rooms. It almost makes you think that the Academy of Rea Lucaria is, like, tantamount to one of our modern-day colleges, that there are thousands of people on campus. And if that's true, then perhaps, Rea Lucaria did have the means to help repel invaders. Like, Lane Dell. Yeah, even after just one hit, they're starting to have a miserable time. I forgot to stick things in. Ow. Oh dear. Just put it down. Some more darts. It looks like I have too many. Alright, so we have this little upper area, which seems a little bit of a pain to get to. Honestly, it looks like a proper walkway, right? But we had to go up a ladder. The ladder goes around one of the ridges of the building, but then that's just rooftop. Like, what is this area for? Bell tower maintenance? Was it a wall in which to watch the land? It seems a bit foggy and rainy for that. Design seems to be a bit odd in this particular direction. Looks like there's some blue waves. Honestly, it looks like blue grace. If grace, the guidance of grace was blue. Though I think it's just a mystical haze. So over here we see an item over there, gargoyle, steeple on the building, and the lower area, which we will go to in time. But I'm showing you that if you stand on this, and if I can actually do it right and not fall off, you can get onto the gargoyle, and then from the gargoyle to the roof, and get your item early. And I think it's a little easier to jump to a lower area over here from this rooftop than it is from the lower rooftop. Yeah, I feel like you clear it by a good margin. Oh, goodbye! And he fell all the way down. Let's try this sword. Mostly because getting the hits close together on the same side is kind of fun. Goodbye. I could not loot him in time. Such a shame. Don't want to be surrounded by these fellows because they will get you while you're on the ladder, and they will mess you up. Don't really have, we need to find another item so I have stuff to talk about, stuff to comment on. Wish I knew a little bit more about architecture. All the stuff I've talked about in regards to architecture throughout the series is stuff I've learned in brief from other individuals or just a smidge of world history. And so I'm not an expert by any means. Very nice windows, though. More of those clover patterns showing up again. Seems to be a common theme with wizards and those who like sorcerer's arts is that clover pattern. Another treasure chest, and here we find the full moon crossbow. A crossbow that, believe it or not, takes intelligence. It's got a little hole here, kind of adorable, but it, let's read its description. One of a kind, enchanted crossbow of exquisitely detailed craftsmanship, made to celebrate matrimonial union and reconciliation between the houses of the Erdtree and the Full Moon, Leyndell and Rhea Lucaria. The two rings dance when reloading the weapon, reveals true worth when used with wholly infused boots. Boots? What on? With wholly infused bolts. I believe that is a mistranslation. A lot of people in the community also believe it's a mistranslation. It seems to do really well when you use magic bolts, like the meteor bolts here. And it does seem to signify a union, but it is fundamentally a magic weapon. I don't think you get anything as a bonus for using magic bolts. So when you get to the top of this tower to grab this crossbow, normally you could jump over here, and then down here. And this is where you would normally gain that smithing stone that was up here that I kind of jumped up the architecture to get to. So, back to work. What to use for our work, though? Let's use the Zweihander. Why not? I'm trying to remember what path to take. I think we have to go up here twice, which is kind of a shame, because that's time. Maybe I will make a convenient cut, but... Ah, shucks, I already made my decision by falling down here. I just realized. Oh well. We'll go this path, and then there's a little upper area that goes across there horizontally. We'll do that at a later point. And this guy's always glitched into the floor here. Oh, God, it hurts my eyes to look at him. Especially when it's vibrating at Mach 10 like that. Yeah, there's a little upper area. Dang it. I hoped to probably take that path first, but oh well. Okay, I think we're good to hop down here then. Because there are some items for us to still grab. Imbued stone sword key. Or sword key. So we have a second one of those. Is that our third? I know we've used one to get... Yeah, so... I forget where the third one is. I'm pretty good about getting it in a playthrough. I just don't remember where it drops. Then again, I have a bad habit of liking to collect everything on every character, no matter the build, which is stupid. Don't do that. Waste a lot of time. You don't need to grab everything. Please don't grab everything. Your time is so valuable, dear viewer. Do watch my content, though. Though I suppose if you're this far, you're kind of here for it. And I greatly appreciate that. I missed! Oh no! Couldn't even hit him properly. Alright. Oh, and I forgot to mention, I should have mentioned at the beginning of the episode, and I should probably be mentioning it in descriptions, though. I decided to have a little group tag. So in multiplayer, you can have these group passwords just to see when people lay down signs, see their summon signs, or if they hit notable events like defeat a shard bearer or beat the game. I decided that the password for this channel would be Gunch, just for fun. So if I ever see that go off, that'll be fun, and I'll leave that on during playthroughs. So we get another marionette soldier helm. And here, on the outskirts, let's see, there's a ladder to help you get back up. Actually, is there anything down here that we want? There's some basic crabs. This is the tower you'd normally descend in from up there. To... if I had taken the other path that was up above that I realized I'd missed. And don't you know, we have a little crab friend over there made of crystals. Don't worry, we'll be coming back for him soon. Coming back? I think we're just going to take a roundabout path to him just about. So we need to get in the top of this. It's not really a dome, but this oblong building here. Does frost work on the marionettes? I'm curious. Not sure. Oh. I do like having that attack start up faster, because I'm just angling it. So here we have a golden rune, bunch of rafters. You do want to watch where you're dropping down here, because you want to drop on a specific chandelier that has an item, because there's 2. So Academy Glintstone Key. And, nah, not the twin swords. How about... Yeah, the halberd. Yeah, I like the halberd. We'll do the halberd. Mostly because I should be showing off Loretta's slash. This sucker. Yeah, that hits hard. And for some reason, it has like frame 1 hyper armor, which seems a bit silly. So when you, it does the most damage if you have it magic infused. It might do okay damage if you have it frost infused, and then physical infusions are just going to be alright. But having the magic scaling, so a pure magic build with Loretta Slash on a halberd, very good pick. And I don't know. I know it's kind of entered the PvP ethos at this point in time of me making this recording, that people feel like they were sleeping on it. And to be granted, I didn't think much of it either, because I felt like it had a lot of end lag. It's pretty easy to avoid. Look at this little guy. Almost feel bad for him. But he drops the Twin Sage Glintstone Crown, so let's take a look-see at that. One of the Glintstone Crowns bestowed upon Rhea Lucaria scholars whose pursuits were deemed worthy greatly increases intelligence to the detriment of HP and stamina, not just HP or mana or stamina. Usually you lose some of one, not both. But this one adds 6 whole points to intelligence. So early on, this can be fun to wear and get 6 whole points. 6 levels can feel considerable, especially if you are a wizard. Scholars of the Twin Sage Conspectus were the elites of the academy, permitted to study and excel in sorceries of all kinds. So if you were allowed to study from every school of magic, you got one of those bad boys when you did well enough. There's a ladder here. Not that useful ladder, but it's here. From the roof, we could have seen that side path. That was an illusory wall. Because this room below us is actually where we kind of entered the academy after that initial elevator. So there are marionettes hanging about over there and a single wizard. Alright. Here we have a nasty boy. I do not like these types of boys. He seems to be wearing the High Pages ashes, I just realized, actually. There we go. And those guys do a lot of damage. You don't want to mess with them. And don't you know, hidden away we have a False Night Sky and one of the Graven Masses, like we saw on the little amulet that we found a couple episodes ago. This guy, Graven School Talisman, that one. And this is the forbidden act of basically hodgepodging a bunch of sorcerers together to get a higher power level. Azur's Glintstone Staff. So Azur, and I don't think we've heard Azur's name before. We've heard Lusat's name, and he was one of the founders of the Conspectuses, which is funny because their poster boy is somebody else who also gets his own painting. Actually, don't quote me on that. I think I just made that up off the top of my head by accident. Yeah, ignore that last part. We know that there are paintings of the crowns, and they're depicted as real people. We know that much. So Lusat, Olivinus, Twin Sage, Selen, even. Let's take a look at that staff. That other thing I said, ignore that other thing. Staff of the Primeval Glintstone Sorcerer Azur. Only those who have glimpsed what lies beyond the wisdom of stone may wield it. Reduces casting time of all sorceries, but consumes additional FP. Kind of interesting. It says only those who have glimpsed what lies beyond the wisdom of stone may wield it. Sure enough, 52 intelligence required, and we know 48 is supposedly enough to understand the wisdom of stone thanks to the crystal staff. This staff can only be wielded by those of intellect high enough to grasp such wisdom. The wisdom of stone. So, kind of interesting. Those descriptions have a little bit to do with each other. Oh, and on the rafters, I should have pointed it out, we found another Academy Glintstone key. Yeah, it was in the rafters for some reason. They look the same. But this Glintstone key is still brand new, unused by anyone. Right, so I think that's it for this little area. We should probably go up top and do the loop one more time. So we'll go to the debate parlor, and we will just run it into the ground. Run through this courtyard. Kind of funny that there's crabs all over the place. I don't know if we ever get a real reason why there's another abductor version. Oh no, I didn't open the thing from the other side. Oh, what a chore. That's okay. We will deal. Slate this guy again. And we will leave before they get around the corner to keep shooting at us. So we're going to go back up. Because we need to take that alternate path. And then we can take the spare key to Thops, actually. And we'll break him down before he finishes breaking down. I should really update my spells. We have a new Conspectus scroll. I have a new spell slot that I'm not using. I'm kind of waiting. Until we finish Ray of Lucaria. Because I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a little bit of this huge money stockpile we have. How? Ooh. Dang, he just keeps spamming that nonsense. I don't know if those boys freeze. Oh, what? No, we don't have to fight. Oh, shucks. Oh, that's going to be on recording. How embarrassing. Oh, dear. I have to go get that money back. I should have just ran past him. I knew it in my heart of hearts. I should have just ran past him. And we're going to do exactly that. We're going to use the fast kill weapons. Because we need to go fast. I did it again. Just because he might be shooting behind us. Get those stats back that I like so much. Gotta go fast. good ol' carrying phalanx. Seems they have a little stabby bit on the top of their scythes, which is rather silly. Okay, so we need to go across. And I like to jump from the high point. Oh, wow, that's always way too close for my liking. But we are going to make it. We are going to buy our time back. They're just throwing pots. They don't like it. Not at all. Alright. Deal with this silly little magic contraption. Alright, now we can safely drop down the levels here. They're still flying about out there. That's fine. They're free to do that. We drop down these levels carefully for this bad boy. That missed completely. Look at how strong he is. Isn't that cute? There we go. Lazuli Glintstone Crown. So now we have the Lazuli one. We'll read its description. One of the Glintstone Crowns bestowed upon Rea Lucaria scholars whose pursuits were deemed worthy. Increases intelligence and dexterity at the detriment of HP. Scholars of the Lazuli Conspectus study carrion sorceries, a heterodox pursuit that views the moon as equal to the stars. There's a Conspectus crown I'm missing. I'm pretty certain we're supposed to have it by the end of Rea Lucaria, and I'm not remembering where it's at. It is the Olivinus crown. No, we have the Olivinus. It's the Carlos crown. That's the one that we are missing. Yeah, Carlos. I think I just remembered where it's at, actually, while thinking about it. That's okay. So we'll head down here. Land on the crabs, make them mad, but we don't care that much. And now we are good to... I'm in combat. I'm in combat. I don't like that. Will they forget about me already? Will they just move on with their lives? I have teleporting to do, so that's the end of that little side area. You kind of have to take both paths. To a degree. If you want the imbued stone sword key, I believe, because that's over... No, you can get it over here. Maybe the path I took was the wiser path, and the other path doesn't actually give you anything bonus. Yeah, I just did it wrong, I think. Sorry, I shouldn't be clearing my throat so close to the mic. Oh, come on. You're gonna make me run to a site of grace just to deal with their shenanigans. This some nonsense. This some regular old nonsense. There we go. And we're going to sit down at the side of grace because that is an easy way to get out of combat. There we go. Nicely done. Alright. I say to myself for no particular reason. We're going to go say hi to the Thops, actually, while I'm thinking about it. We have time to say hi to Thops. We like Thops. Tops? He might have pronounced it Tops. I think I'm calling it Thops because of the TH. Which is probably my mistake. Going around with the dagger and the shield. If the damage on crit wasn't so good. Church of Irith.
Back to learn another? Wonderful. You're most welcome to any of my anemic little spells.
So he's happy to see us, and we can give him the Academy Glintstone key.
Certain? You're willing to give your Glintstone key to me? My, oh my. Thank you. Thank you dearly. Now I can go back to the Academy to resume my study of Glintstone sorceries. And the very stars.
So he is elated, a little teary, and we get the erudition emote, which is a very good emote. It lets us unlock certain wizard towers.
Back to learn another? Why, of course.
We can ask about the Glintstone key we've given him.
Thank you dearly. With your blessing, I will depart for the Academy of Rea Lucaria. Or perhaps one day you'll pay me a visit? Who knows? I may be a decorated sorcerer by then.
So he has high hopes for a Bluntstone, and we level with him. We're kind of a Bluntstone. We don't know that good of sorceries, but we love magic, and we want to be a part of that world. So,
Thank you. With your blessing.
and that's all he has to say.
Knows.
Okay. So, for now, we are going to go use erudition to open up those wizard towers. Well, the important ones. You can use it to open up the converted tower, which you can actually sneak in the top of otherwise. But the major one is the wizard tower over here. So we're going to go do that real fast. And that'll be a good time. Wow, I could wheel all these items. This is crazy. So here we have a big old troll man, troll knight. We'll be working our way to him. I think he's gonna roar first. Alright, go ahead, do your jump. We have jumps too, you know. And we are free to go to his head for a critical hit. Because unlike the other Troll Knights, he actually has a head. Goodbye, Mr. Troll Knight. It's cool that they gave you a cape and a hat and a sword. Kind of funny how you're not one for other clothes. Still want to know what that tombstone embedded in their chest is all about. So we come in here, and there's a sign on the ground. Try gesturing, and then head required a head. That's actually a very good tip. Because he's wearing a glintstone crown, and he's doing the emote that Thops just gave us, or Tops. So we will rate him good. Because here it says, may erudition light the way. So that message was very convenient. So let's put on a glintstone crown. We'll even put on the one that he had, right? And then we will do erudition. And it lights up when we do the second part of the gesture. And the barrier disappears. Kind of interesting that there is a statue of Queen Marika. Oh, it's another converted fringe tower. So I believe both of the converted towers had stuff that didn't belong there. That was iconography incongruent with Rhea Lucaria. So we can switch this back, even though it would be a way better hat. We're here for fashion. Fashion and lore. We have a big old, mean old graven mass locked away in this tower. They suck to kill. And they don't give you hardly anything, so run past. Just no reason. I'm trying to think of a single graven mass you want to intentionally kill throughout the game, and I'm drawing a blank. Just doesn't seem like a grand idea, that's all. They don't drop much in the way of money. They're annoying to kill. Yeah. And here at the top of this wizard tower, we get access to the Cannon of Haima and the Gavel of Haima, which are the two sorceries we saw used by the Battle Mage fellow. Yep, so let's take a look at those. One of the glintstone sorceries of the Academy of Rhea Lucaria lobs an explosive magic projectile that flies in an arc, charging enhances potency, drawn from the Conspectus Haima, which is a conspectus we haven't heard much about, so that's a new one. The Adjudicator of the Academy. This sorcery employs might as well as means to quell conflict. Very fancy. And the hammer is much the same, but it has 2 follow-up hits. So it's kind of like the parallel to the Carrion Sword, or Great Sword and Carrion Piercer sorceries. Big swords meets big hammer. It's kind of funny how it's a gavel. Which usually is known as a sign of a judge, not necessarily a warrior. Alright, well, let's head to the schoolhouse classroom and check on Thops. One day I'll be consistent in how I say his name. And here's our buddy, Thops. He has passed on, unfortunately. We get his bell bearing, a glintstone staff, and a sorcery called Thops Barrier. Let's read that. The lifelong pursuit of Thops the Bluntstone creates a magic force field that deflects sorceries and incantation incantations, hold to continuously create barriers. Future generations will learn. They will know the foolishness of the sneering sorcerers who ridiculed this theory, little realizing that it was in fact a discovery worthy of a new conspectus of the Academy. Which is sad, because it seems that, from all we've seen, the Academy is more or less in ruin. It doesn't have much of a formal organization anymore that is worth recognizing. Quite sad. Alright, so, let's see. Swift, Glintstone, Carrion, Slicer, Piercer, Scholar's Armament. I think we have enough room to equip Cannon and Gavel. I'll show those off really fast, and then we'll show off Thops Barrier. So it's pretty easy to get knocked out of, and it takes a long time to set up. So we'll do the Gavel on this guy. Doesn't hit so hard because we are bad, but it knocks down everything around you. So less on the damage, more on the CC and the setup. And then a wizard over there. We can charge this sucker up and lob it at him. And that's not so bad. You do a light charge for a quicker hit. But there you go. And now let's show off his barrier. Thops Barrier. Yeah. I just remembered that there's a sorcery that is, you can only get from Seluvis, but we're gonna wait an incredible long time to get access to that one, which kind of makes me sad. That's okay. We're gonna wait a long time because there's other quests that can get in the way. Alright. But I wanted to show off that the barrier keeps going even if the waves aren't. And this is probably the best version of this spell. Yeah, but yeah, see, it deflects stuff. It kind of keeps you safe. But it has a little bit of a wind-up time. The wind-up time we could probably diminish by using Radigan's Icon. I'm curious to know. A little. There's just a smidge of a difference. And mostly on the startup, not the actual casting, once we get it up. And that's kind of what Radigan's Icon does. In addition to dexterity and the Azur's Glintstone Staff, because this thing reduces casting time of all sorcerers, but it consumes additional FP, is that they reduce the startup to spells. The actual casting the spell does not get faster. So certain spells it's more noticeable, other spells there's hardly a difference. Okay, oh, there's one last thing I should show off while it's connected to the same string of thoughts. The barrier might be fun for when there's bursts, because you may have noticed the spell parry that I have on my shield, this one, carrying retaliation. If there's lots of spells, you might coming at you, lots of projectiles, you might block one to turn it into projectiles, but then the others will hit you, while Thops Barrier will hit most of them. So this beetle was not here before. It is only here after you've discovered Thops' body, I believe. Or maybe after he's left for the Academy. But it is the version of the barrier that you can put on a shield. So while we are thinking of it, we're going to go to the schoolhouse classroom again. And I actually want to see what that barrier is like. I don't think I've used it on a shield form. As a spell, it's okay. Kind of expensive, but can keep you safe. Right? Ashes of War. Ashes of War. We'll put it on the little rivet shield for giggles. And I think it's not very good as a parry. But it comes out a little faster, so maybe it'll be a little better as a reaction barrier. Come on, cast a spell. The audience would like to see it. Is that free? There's no magic cost there. So if you're not using it to parry attacks, because I think it's slightly worse than the carry and retaliation in terms of active parry frames. But if you want a cheap way to... That's funny. You could demoralize some sorcerers in PvP with this if you had enough range to... Huh. I never knew it was free. That's silly, but I like how the bolts curve, though. Oh, come on. He knows it. He was demoralized. Did you see that? So remember that. I'll put it on this one because it almost looks like a magic rune. Almost. That's still quite the particle effect. Every time. You know what? I might just leave it on there. Or... Yeah, I might leave it on that one. Yeah. But still, that was neat. Alright, so we learned some things. We saw Thops. He's worthy of new Conspectus. That's the end of his storyline. We'll notice that throughout these games, or throughout this game and other Souls games, that people meet bad ends when you finish their quest lines. It's kind of sad, honestly. We'll go to the debate parlor, and that is where we will pick up our journey for next time. So thank you for joining me today on episode 52, and we'll see you next time where we finish the Academy, because there's not a whole lot left. And then after that, Caelid. Exciting. Bye-bye for now.